My mistake is staying in too long. So, yeah, we need to adjust that. Oh, that Bubble Beam. Okay. Yeah, this meta's pretty bad. But... Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we'll be talking about how I finally hit Legend. It's been a while since I posted a video just because I've been sitting queue times for quite a while too. We're probably in one of the most inaccessible weeks of Go Battle League. You have Open Master League or Little Halloween Cup. But if you like it, and you have the resources, why not run the stuff that is meta? So I was running a Skorupi in the lead with a Marill and a Shuckle in the back. Marill and Shuckle are, I'd say for the most part, almost necessary to win games consistently. There's definitely teams I've lost to without both of them on the team, but I don't think I've lost to anyone with neither on the team, and I, most of the time will be able to beat people with only one of the two. That being said, let's get into the battles because I did not get a single negative set with this team. It was incredible, and we were able to hit Legend with it. So let's get into it. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. So I had a Shadow Golurk in the lead, Golett I should say, instead. To when I first started running this team, but I just wasn't finding as consistent usage with it, and it was also just very shield intensive. That being said, the Skorupi was a really nice adjustment, and this opponent here definitely doesn't have both Marill and Shuckle, so we'll have to see if they have which one of the two they have. In all likelihood, they have at least one of the two. They also have two pretty strong answers to my Marill, so my guess is it's pretty weak. They're pretty weak to Marill in the back, or they just have their own Marill. But that being said, we'll see what happens here. Shuckle is pretty nuts, able to win neutrals against a lot of things on even shields. So I spend a shield, they spend a shield, and then now they come back in with the Pumpkaboo. I have a bunch of energy here, so I'm in a pretty good spot. Let's see what they have in the back. Name of the game against in Little Halloween Cup is you just want to keep as many of your Pokemon around as possible in case it comes to timeouts. And it looks like this is one of the few players that don't have any of the super expensive XO investments. And unfortunately, double grass plus a tentacle, and they still can't beat a team with Marill on it, right? It just really shows like how strong some of these XO Pokemon are. Obviously, Marill didn't see a ton of action, but it did enough. Okay, Marill in the lead, fantastic for this team. So we're going to swap over and lock it into the tentacle. Something I also realized running Skorupi in the lead is that very few people, at least in the upper elo range, run Shuckle in the lead. Not really sure why. Maybe it's just a little bit inflexible, because if you run a Shuckle in lead with a Marill in the back, which a lot of people have both, you run to a Clodsire lead, you're just in a really tough spot, right? So that being said, yeah. I think Skorupi in the lead is really, really strong, in my opinion. Something else to note is that you can see that this Marill is running Bubble. I get denied a Poison Sting, but not the end of the world. They're running Bubble instead of Tackle. A few things. One, Bubble Beam's not worth it, because especially in Little Cup, they can swap out. It just doesn't do that enough damage to be consistent against Shuckle. It's not bad, but just like I wouldn't recommend it. And the second point I want to make is that Bubble sounds better into Shuckle, but I'm pretty sure that Tackle is actually better. Why? So here's the thing: Tackle is resisted into Shuckle, but at a minimum you do 1 damage, and it's a 1-turn move. I've also had plenty of time to talk because this is a Little Catch Cup, right? Or a Little Halloween Cup, I should say. So battles aren't the most riveting, but Bubble Marill, I believe each bubble does only 2 damage instead of 3. So that means in the 3 turns it takes to throw 1 bubble, you get 2 damage off. In those same 3 turns, you throw 3 tackles, you actually do 3 damage. So you actually do more damage to tackle. There's really no reason to run bubble unless you have like a slightly better coverage than Clodsire. That's pretty much it. A couple of the ghost types, sure, Bubble might be a little bit better, like Goletts, Drifloon, stuff like that. But or Drifloon, I think. But overall, it's better to run Tackle, in my opinion. You also just win the mirror better, more consistently. Yeah, so that would be my recommendation on the why I chose to run Tackle eventually. I did actually run Bubble myself to kick things off, but it just wasn't as effective. And here we have a matchup where we just kind of hard counter them, which is pretty solid for me. But yeah, a lot of times if you catch a good lead with the Skorupi in the lead, you're pretty much guaranteed to win the game because the backline coverage of Marill and Shuckle is just too strong, in my opinion. All right, we just take out their Marill. Maybe almost take it out. Let's see what I do here. Yeah, I just had a shield. I have this on super fast speed, but and then they throw a move. I'm surprised they threw because they probably lose charge check priority, but they just go for it. But we just have way too much health at this point. Yeah, there's no way they can win this. But yeah, health, having a lot of health remaining is important, but also even more important is having more Pokemon remaining. You can see the opponent is going to concede right there. And yeah, let's go into this next game. My apologies, I did not trim this down. So you see the full queue time on 2.5 speed. Usually queue times are even longer than that. So I must have missed a clip here, unfortunately. But that being said, Shadow Duskull is kind of an interesting one. It's not the best for Skorupi because you resist all these moves. Or the Poison Sting, I should say. But we do catch a Nightshade, and then we draw out their Marill, which, for better or for worse, is okay, I guess. I think the scary part here is that if they have a Shuckle in the back, if I bring in my own Skorupi into this Marill, I just risk getting it locked into the Shuckle, which is kind of bad. But I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, I ended up throwing a Body Slam first, but I think I'd do it after this, yeah. Because I get some decent damage or grab a shield off of it, there's a chance I get farmed down. Oh, wait, they didn't come in Shuckle. Okay, so maybe they don't have a Shuckle in the back. I don't know. Duskull doesn't make as much sense here. So we're just going to shield up and try to maintain switch advantage. And also just maintain a third Pokemon. Nice and healthy in the back. I come in with my Shuckle, which is like, I don't know if it's the best idea or not. But at this health range for the Marill, I should be okay. I have a decent amount of health left too. Oh, something I recommend too if you're playing Little Cup. Any Little Cup, but particularly this one. Is I start a 4.5 minute timer because each battle can be up to 4.5 minutes, and I start a 4.5 minute timer. Oh yeah, it's a Clodsire. Yeah, so this is pretty good for me because I have a lot of energy, right? And this is supposed to be a counter to both of them. This is supposed to be a core breaker to Marill and Shuckle, but it's not the bulkiest, and it's a lot of ways to neutralize it, as you can see right here. But yeah, what I like to do is I start a 4.5 minute timer right when my battle starts, so that way I know how close I am to timeout and whether I just go for the stall out victory or if the opponent is, and I need to be aware of that, stuff like that. So it's just a good way to kind of keep track of the energy and stuff. We are on battle number 5 here. I think I'd lost one of these earlier due to timeout, I think. Yeah, I think I lost one of these. But anyway, the catch on Tentacle, really great catch by my opponent. But we just swap over to the Shuckle. Getting the Aqua Tail landing even resisted is nice because this makes this matchup a lot easier for the Shuckle even. So yeah, just something to look out for though as you play these games. Certain players will go for some of these catches, especially on the upper elo range. I think if you're playing in lower elo territory, this team is pretty disgusting if you can build it because a lot of the people in that elo range may not have the resources. Whereas if someone is this high up in elo, like approaching legend, they probably have the resources to run something really good. Otherwise, they wouldn't be playing a little Halloween Cup, or they would have given up pretty quickly after realizing that. But at lower elos, they might not realize it, or also the teams might not be as try hard or expensive, so it's a little bit more reasonable. Oh, okay, they go for the catch here again. Again, it's Clodsire, right? It's really strong. It's one of the few things that beats the Marill and Shuckle core, but it's just not bulky enough, right? And you can see here I'm doing a ton of damage with the just with the Aqua Tail and Tackle, and then we have another Aqua Tail here, and just chunks away. Yeah, and I even had the Shuckle in the back that I could swap to. No, I go 5-0 there. Okay, so maybe I missed all. Yeah, so we do go 5-0. We're getting a ton of elo as well. But here we go. Set number 2, I think. And here I come in Marill. So something I noticed is that even though it's a poison water, it's actually not that good into Marill. And this is another reason why tackle's good, because you could just like win this matchup. The just tackle damage is too oppressive. Like, yeah, they had to spend a shield, but the thing is, this Sludge Bomb doesn't KO me, so I'm in a really comfortable position because I maintain switch advantage, and we're on even shields. If they had a shield advantage, that'd be a different story, and the comeback is very possible. But this makes it a lot harder. And I have Skorupi in the back, and in all likelihood, they have a Shuckle. But I have the cross poison ready, so that's going to be nice. I grab a shield. No need to shield these early ones, especially because there's a chance that it's Bubble Beam. Unlikely now that's going to be Bubble Beam because we saw the Aqua Tail, and very unlikely to run Bubble Beam and Aqua Tail. And here comes the Shuckle, as expected. But we're up a shield, and just make sure that you maintain, having at least even Pokemon, especially if you're heading in these situations. The worst is when you're down to 1 Pokemon and they have 2, and they should lose, but you just get timed out. But yeah. They're just throwing Rock Blast for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Maybe just all the Switch Timer. But it's just not really worth shielding the Shuckle in these mirror matches. It's super effective, but Shuckle's attack is just so low and defense is so high. So, yeah. It's just not going to... You can see the Stone Edge not even doing that much. But Stone Edge is definitely the better move to throw here. And it looks like we throw on Charge Check Priority. Yeah, that's totally fine. And they might go for a combo play here. So I'm just going to get ready to swap. And here comes the Marill. We have the Skorupi ready. They actually might win on timeout here if I don't get to this final move, but I do get to it just in time. Otherwise, they actually might win on timeout based on health percentage remaining on that Marill. So, able to secure that though. And yeah, let's go into this next game. Shadow Foongus. Again, these like kind of off meta picks they're annoying to deal with, but they're, in my opinion, fairly manageable because they just don't have the bulk and usually not the coverage to hang with some of these meta Pokemon. So Skorupi into this though is kind of a mixed bag. I've never seen this play out myself personally. If I got a boost, that'd be a different story, but I didn't. So we got both shields on both ends, and I get to this one, but I lose Charge Check Priority. And this is the matchup I just had no idea who we would win Charge Check Priority, because who sees this, right? And unfortunately, alignment was pretty important for this one. They fought pretty hard for it. I fought pretty hard for it too, but we just couldn't win out on that. I timed everything correctly too. But yeah, like I said, if you have switch advantage, if your Skorupi can get you switch advantage, you usually win the game. And unfortunately, I could not in this scenario. So I'm countered by the Marill, and of course they have the Skorupi for my Marill. And so yeah, this one's just unfortunately over. Even with no shields, I just don't do enough damage. You want to throw Aqua Tail here to stab. It's better to throw than the Body Slam for sure. I was making some mistakes by throwing Body Slam initially for some reason into this matchup, but definitely not a matchup you want to throw that into. We just lose this one, unfortunately, but it happens. Can't win them all, but I did win a lot of them. I did win quite a bit with this team. And yeah, I'm just going to throw one Stone Edge for good measure, but this is definitely over. And they even saved the Pokemon in the back. But okay, we do face our first Shuckle lead, but it took me a second to realize they actually have 10 CB Pokemon, so it looks like this person's tanking. So appreciate the free elo. But yeah, Shuckle lead is usually really hard. I don't think I've actually won a Shuckle lead. I've only seen like maybe 2 in total. Outside that one, but yeah, it's just really hard because they usually have a Skorupi and a Marill in the back, or just something that beats Marill, right? And then their own Marill in the back. Sometimes, for the most part, I swap my Marill, but sometimes I just decide to swap the Shuckle just to see what happens. It generally doesn't pay off, like as you can see right here. But the timer's coming up soon, so I could potentially go for the combo play, and that's what I do. I have energy loaded. Probably grab a shield off of this. No, they don't shield. Kind of surprising. But I'm just not going to shield at this point too. And they actually went Acid Spray, which is kind of wild. I was expecting a Stone Edge, but I was pretty content just letting that go because there's no way the Clodsire really survives at that point. We have a lot of entry though on the Shuckle, and this was the whole point, is to free up so that my Marill could put in some work in the back end. Marill's not great into Drifloon. It's not great into Clodsire, so at worst it's probably a mirror. At best, it might be something else like a Shuckle, and I just win. But they quit out there recognizing that writing's on the wall. So we see another Drifloon lead right after that one. So I'm trying to play it out a little bit similarly than the last one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making the right plays or not here. This time around, I swap in the Shuckle, and unfortunately, we get met with a Marill. So this is a matchup that is definitely unwinnable, just like the last one, I guess. But this, unfortunately, could be one of the situations where I'm just kind of hard countered. But we'll see. Drifloon is going to counter Skorupi for sure, especially on even shields. Marill's going to beat Shuckle. Ooh, and they catch on their Shuckle. Yeah, that's a crazy catch. We do get the boost, which is nice, but just a little too late, unfortunately. Yeah, they're just way too much I have to handle because they still have the Drifloon, and they still have a Marill, and I have my own Marill, but I don't know. This is tough. I gotta use it however I can against a Shuckle because I don't really want it on the Drifloon. But at the same time, too, I don't know how to get rid of their Marill. They went for Rock Blast. I'm actually really curious why some Shuckle users will use Rock Blast, because I think maybe they're thinking I would shield some of these, but it's not really the case. Maybe they're just burning out the switch timer. That's actually a more likely scenario because they have 3 Pokemon and I only have 2. So yeah, they're just like, it's just so likely they'll win on a timeout here, whereas I just don't have that luxury because I don't have the 3rd Pokemon. And they still have a shield. Yeah, I think we just lose on timeout here. Okay, let me rephrase it. I probably lose this game either way, but I definitely lose on timeout before I even get all 3 Pokemon taken out, is my guess. I don't have time with me, but having seen enough of these battles, they're probably going to shield this, and they just win, right? Yeah, the shields. I try to swap over. It's over. Yeah, they take me out here. Like I said, they don't have enough time to take out my Shuckle, but I just lose this. So a little BM, no swipe, I guess. But either way, we do go 3-2 here. So not too bad, and we are knocking on Legend Store for sure. 2971 is my elo at this point in time. I like to just throw a little bit of Poison Sting and swap out here. It's not really a great matchup for my Skorupi, because I'm pretty sure I just get outbulked by the XL Galarian Zigzagoon. But also Shuckle is just much better into it, so I prefer to get a Shuckle on it if possible. But again, leaving with NG is pretty important. These new 50-second switch timers are really going to help out in this meta. And then in comes their Shuckle, which is not ideal. That's the one of the tough parts about pivoting over to Skorupi is, like I said, I rarely see Shuckle in the lead, but there typically is a Shuckle in the back. I was hoping there wasn't, but there is, so not ideal. However, I do swap out and have a 3rd Pokemon, so it is not over yet. It's just not great for me. Well, let's see what we could do here. I mean, I think if I take out this Marill, I might be able to win this. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I think it is quite winnable, but they might shield, which is the problem. Yeah, they do shield. Yeah, good play by them. And then I have almost back-to-back body slams here, and then they come in with their Shuckle. Oh, it's not ideal. Might be able to take them out, but I still have 2 shields, which is a little unfortunate. Let's see. I could potentially win this, I think, right? We tackle down. Okay. What is the situation here? How did I lose this game? I think I thought I lost it, but maybe I'm misremembering. Let's see what happens here. Oh, the combo play. That's what did me in. If I brought in the Skorupi right there, or my Shuckle, I just win. Yeah. It's a really smart play by them. Because I had 3 Pokemon, so I should have just won that game. But I don't know if it really matters, because they probably just take me out anyway. Yeah, I don't know if I actually could have won that game, even if I called the combo play. Maybe. Potentially. I don't know. They had a lot of health on the Galarian Zigzagoon. Even if I catch that body slam, resist a body slam on the Shuckle, I don't know if it changes anything. But either way. Okay, so against the Drifloon, I'm playing a slightly different. I'd rather just shield the potential Shadow Ball than shield the Icy Wind on my Skorupi, because there's just so much more NG. It's a lot more NG for the Shadow Ball than the Icy Wind, so I get away some of that at least. And we draw out their Marill, but I saw my Skorupi with the NG. I like to make this play quite a bit, but okay, looks like they don't have a Shuckle on the back, potentially. Hard to say. I'm going to come in with my Shuckle. Maybe I should wait the timer a little bit, but not the end of the world, I guess, in this situation. They don't have a Shuckle. They have a Shadow Golett. Like I said, I was playing a little bit of Golett myself, so I kind of know how this goes. And in comes their Marill. It's pretty good. for me because I could chip them down here and then just probably come away with almost 100 energy. Let's see how we... Yeah, tackling this sounds really tough. I mean, I definitely can, but I'm going to take a lot of damage in the meantime, and I'm going to be capped on energy, right? So it's not that best situation to be in. You can see I'm pretty much at full energy at this point, so I'm just going to throw it. And then they have the Golets. I have a shield, so I could be okay, but not even needed. We get to the next Aqua Tail in time. I think they were going for the Mud Slap down, which is a reasonable strategy. But yeah, like I said, like not having Shuckle and Marill definitely puts people in a tough spots because Skorupi just becomes a lot more free. Speaking of Skorupi, Safe Swap Skorupi is fantastic for this team. What I always do is I charge up to a Cross Poison, then I swap out. So that, one, they can't hit me with a move because I'll get to it before them, and I can swap before that. Also, Shuckle just wins this matchup so dominantly that even if you swap in late, it's not a big deal. Like, I still have half health, right? Even if they spend a shield, I still win that without spending a shield myself. So it's just like, it's a smart play by them not to shield because there's just no way they win that matchup anyway. They are going to get a lot of energy with this Marill, and unfortunately I don't get the last Stone Edge off, so maybe I should go for Rock Blast, but I was going for the riskier play. That being said, I'm still in a positive matchup, so I'm not super concerned about it. We don't know what they have in the back yet, but a lot of times it is a Shuckle, and we'll see what happens here. They're fighting really hard to take out this Skorupi, which is interesting to me. So part of me was thinking maybe they don't have a Shuckle in the back, because if they did... why would they be fighting so hard for switch advantage, right? Or just take out my Skorupi. I'm thinking maybe they have like a Clodsire in the back, so having energy and health on my Skorupi is so important. But no, they had the Shuckle, and I think they were just trying to delay the inevitable or hope that I don't have a Marill. But I think if they had the Shuckle, they should just brought it in. And if I have Marill, they lose anyway, right? But it's just kind of a weird situation to stay in that long with Marill into it. But it is what it is. Maybe they played it out that way before and won with it. But again, Shuckle just a straight up neutral dominator, so it is going to win that matchup, and they end up shielding, which is good for me. I'm not going to shield because again, this could be Ball Beam, which it is, and it's not ideal, but it is what it is. They go for the Body Slam now, which is fine. Again, I don't really have to shield yet. Might have to shield the next one, especially because I'm debuffed. If I wasn't debuffed, this wouldn't be as big of an issue, but... yeah, they looks like they swap over, and I have 2-0 shield advantage. Yeah, there's just no way they win this, unfortunately. Unfortunately for them. Fortunate for me. But this is a team I saw quite a bit of. Marill in the lead, Skorupi safe swap, Shuckle in the back, and this team is just the best way to hard beat it. Yeah, and like I said, it's very rare for people to run Shuckle lead here because of the presence of Clodsire, so going ABA week 2 Clodsire leads is not ideal, and I think a lot of people recognize that. And that's why this team works out so well. Okay, we've lost once in this set, but that's about it. I think I have like 2 more battles, or 1 more battle left after this one actually. But like I said, this is yeah, the team that I hit legend with, so you can probably figure out what happens after this. I'm going to go for a little BM here, just because at this point the game's over, so I figure they're just, if I BM sooner, they might quit out sooner, which might be the case there. All right, we catch another Marill lead, fantastic, and we catch another Skorupi safe swap, even better. Like I said, a lot of teams running this, right? And I mean, to be fair, like there's only so much variations a top meta team can even be in this meta. So yeah, let's see if they shield or not. There are a few Skorupi users that will shield this for some reason. Yeah, they shield it, but again, like it doesn't help them win the matchup. They usually just like pivot out here, and then I come in to their Pokemon with my Skorupi, ends up being Marill, but I have a bunch of energy loaded. I even get boosted. Like, it is not going to be a good time for this player, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna let this go, and yeah, I could let the next one go too, because there's always a chance they have Shuckle in the back, so spending shields here is not usually advisable. And there's Shuckle, so we get it. I'm gonna go for the double Aqua Tail, and probably just come in Marill at this point because I don't want to get locked on the Skorupi, so waiting on timer is not, or just like waiting for me to faint out, it's not a bad idea. And then I catch her Cross Poison, and they quit out, and there we go, 4-1 on the final set here. to hit legend. That does it for the Super Whale week of Go Battle League. I'm looking forward to the Halloween Cup in Great League. Might do some streams, live streams on my channel too, of me playing the meta. I just didn't want to do it for this one because the queue times are just way too long. I'd be sitting there and nothing's happening. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.